we'll spend like probably like 10 or so minutes just talking about it, and then we'll jump into this new game that Azriel has recommended to me. I'm actually playing a recommendation for once that like she would have put forward. Hello, I didn't do a proper intro, but this, you know what, here's the intro. This is called The Beginner's Guide. We're gonna try playing this for a bit. It's been suggested to me by Azriel. It looks kind of cool. No proper intro needed. You're not proper anyway. Right, that's just rude. But like, fuck you. Alright, so this game's meant to be like, it's made by the same people that made the Stanley Parable, as far as I know. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this is gonna be about. I've not tried this game before. Either that or I do not remember it.
There. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Okay.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda.
Coda? No.
Now these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff.
Oh no.
And his work pointed me in a very powerful direction.
Okay.
I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make.
That's pretty cool.
So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever played. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way.
Yeah.
And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town.
Yeah.
And instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator.
What the f happened here?
The video game was constructed by a real
Can I jump on this?
It kind of makes you wonder,
oh my god,
what was going through his head as he was building this? I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse.
Is this a first playthrough? I've never played this before. I have no idea what this is like.
This was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made. Until suddenly one day, he just stopped.
No.
In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together. Is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. This first one was made in November 2008.
Whisper machine status active. Warning, evacuate immediately. Well, that's good. I'm inside this like a little white box, so I can just stay here, can't I? White it is very white in here. My camera is like it's so lit. Ready, get chat? And the lights got.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
I've just ran out of ammo. I just wasted all my ammo.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
I don't have ammo. I don't have ammo.
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Yeah, I noticed that bit. I did notice that.
We don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Right, but can I get it? Could I get some ammo though? Because I feel a bit unsafe with...
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from
That's... What the f***? Okay. It just looks like someone put cement at the bottom of the universe, dude. Can I go this way? No. There's like 3 holes there. I'm wondering what that does. This game is still actually supposed to be funny, like the Stanley Parable. It was a more serious game. Oh, is it actually? I thought it was meant to be funny. I didn't realize.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting.
So I just decided to...
This narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Okay. Unreal, I thought you read the game's description. No, I didn't.
You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. great enough heat signature.
Alright.
Your body could stop the beam.
Oh, you want me to die?
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
No. Do I have to? Do I?
This is not a branching point, unfortunately. The only option is to step into the beam.
Oh, did you just close the door on me? Oh, you bitch.
Let me pause here for a second.
Ah.
What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying,
Yes.
probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level.
Okay.
But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay. What the fuck? Yo.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yeah, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream
Triggered
of
audio
tiny
because I
little
never heard that
games
before in
that
this
go in
game.
all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Oh, we're in the back rooms. Nice. Oh.
Yep. In this game, you can only walk backwards.
Okay, right.
So it's a short and
But the
relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a
Keep changing.
pre-existing trope.
When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little
True.
thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends.
You're now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet.
Yeah, dude, that was a good game. I like that game a lot.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Do I have to? I kind of want to see if there's anything around these. Kind of think it was.
I know it's
oh,
tempting, but there's actually nothing over here. Sorry.
Well, I wanted to see, at least. Alright. Bro, stop triggering audio cues I didn't know existed. What is that? That only happens when I go over there. What is that? What is that? I don't even know what that's causing. Alright. Fine, we'll go in there. I'm slowing down a lot. Oh?
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
What?
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games. Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there. Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle.
Yeah.
Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
So what? I'm guessing it causes. Did I just lock myself in? I can figure this shit out.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end.
Thank you for the bit, Josh.
All right.
Appreciate
now
it,
I'm going
man.
to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Probably will have to. What the f?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the stairs game since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So,
Oh my
in the
God.
Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
You are now exiting.
Aha. So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow.
This is kind of
There's a bigger
spooky.
picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
A great and lovely descent. What the okay, we're back in the white void again.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Yes.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Source engine,
Like
yes.
all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors.
Yeah, it's very
That's why so many of
backwards-esque.
Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
It is very liminal, I will admit.
The
I keep
tools
saying
available to the
backwards-esque, it's
creator
more just
shape what
liminal.
kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
What the fuck am I? Where am I going, brother? This is insane. Oh, these. Oh, okay. I don't. Oh, what the f? Do I have to go in there?
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
What?
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that. This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Holy sh! This game's insane. Okay.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Is it? There it is.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Yeah, did he come up from
Here,
a...
Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
You there, did you come from up above? What was up there? I guess the prison I spent hours in, that's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors of switches? I prefer not to tell you, we've only just met. I don't trust you guys. What? But you don't understand. We are trapped here. That puzzle is our only escape. We need to get through it. You think you want to get through, but trust me, you don't. Yeah. Oh no, but I do. We do. We need to get there. Do you understand? It is the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you, there is nothing I want more. Alright, Cube-Man, you do your thing, buddy.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level. It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something.
Okay.
He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're gonna see it in the work as well. His games are just gonna become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. Oh, it's just Elden Ring. Okay. All your notes you see are left by other players. Coda is secretly...
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually.
Okay, how many? So what, all of these are left by Coda? Bro, did he get bored at one point? Why is there so many? Whoa, holy shit. Yeah, you're telling me, bro. Like, this is insane. Hey,
but it's ironic,
yo.
isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and actually less of the messy in-person socializing. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much. Is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
This game is so nice, I would like it when I could. In a world full of notes, one more man will read them. This summer, you will believe blue speech bubbles can talk. Cool Kevin, bro. Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. I refuse to believe. Makes game includes door, cannot open door, thanks. I help people because of all the internal good feeling I get. Holy shit, these are all him? These are all Coda? I like very much to be desired. Scared of writing something, don't want to feel judged. Next time I will do better. I need someone to talk to. Oh, okay. It's just the fact he just keeps going and going and going. So from what I'm seeing, he made this to be like some sort of a kind of MMO kind of thing, where like kind of like how in Elden Ring, where you can just kind of leave notes everywhere online. But feels like he was planning for this to be something massive, and it's just kind of.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again, and here I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Huh. Whoa. 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 What the what the f***'s going on? Porn stars
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kinda just spin its own wheels for a few minutes.
Sorry. You can't just leave me on that, bro. It's like a thing over there. I can't quite see what it says. Are we entering a nightclub? Feels like we are. But then again, this is like probably not going to be anywhere close to a nightclub. I don't know why, I'm just looking at the lights and...
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Version 2... What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? Let's say a TV with surround sound. I like those. That's a table. Okay, what about along the wall? 3 stoves lined up against the wall. Those are couches. Those are couches. Line up this room. We'll put live Tesla coils in each corner. Yeah. Live Tesla coils. That's not a Tesla coil. I'm starting to think this guy's not listening to me. And a table, you need a there's a table right there. Who are you and where exactly are you doing this from? Okay, righto. Right. Okay.
There's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake. So okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully and take care that you remember each step. First, click on the table. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click it to turn it slightly. Now turn the lamp off on this room and then turn it back on. Now go to the left side of the sofa and move it a little. Finally touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start and be taken to your prison. Yeah, I can remember that. I can remember that.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Yeah, and there's no... Okay.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
What the...
Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go,
this is dull.
Maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on. But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Right. Hello, who is this? It's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you're trapped in this prison too?
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Gee, I'm already forgetting what being in prison was like. How long has it been since you got out? Trapped in prison is a powerful metaphor. I'm seeing that, yeah. In a few minutes, but this is worse. Most desperate thing I've been through. How could you possibly forget it? You don't ever forget it, you just stop identifying with it. Like, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. No! What did they tell you? What did you have to do to get out? All they told me was to be sincere. What? That freed you? How does that work? You can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Sincere about what? It's exactly what you need to figure out in order to escape.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration,
This is wild.
just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself? To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the 2 doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad as all heck you showed up, for I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. And right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands makes lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Don't worry about me, it plays this nice, I'll be glad to stay here all night. Well, now you just might be getting a little ahead of yourself here. Now, why don't we start by cleaning, then you decide whether you could do it all night. Finish up here, in the meantime I'll clear the table. Much nicer, that's the table I want to see. Now will you please run into the bedroom and make the bed. While you're in there, can you straighten the rug a bit? All the little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? I don't, but do you? Well, I don't enjoy it as much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel kind of calm, and that rests the pits of my ribcage. My soul just can't be soothed any other ways, it seems, which I guess is about all that matters. Oh, and that and a tidy couch. Would you straighten the pillows on the sofa over there? Oh, those ones. Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over the couch. Will you maybe mop that up as well? Oh, bitch. I feel compelled to share incredibly cheesy personal insight. Are you okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. Yeah, go on. Make it especially cheesy. No, it was stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come and do that? Fine. Let's check the tub need cleaning. How about I scrub it down a bit? Bro, are you... No need to be perfect, you're all just human. Bro, you're making me do everything, man. Now then, would you come and clean the dish?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing.
Yeah,
It's the
did I
moment
just
after a
do
particularly
this?
difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
I see. Do these chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you have absolutely got to own it, otherwise it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to future you? Present you wants to smooth
really like this game.
out the rug in the
Of all
bedroom,
his
believe
work,
it or not.
actually,
Trust
this
me on
was
this
the
one.
only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around
my
with a
God,
smile
it's-
on his face.
Earlier when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was gonna say it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. If you take care of it, it takes care of you. Don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. I get it, it's a weird thing to say to someone you just met. Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books, would you please clean up the books? Thanks. Bro, this just keeps going and going and going. Oh goodness, the pillows on the couch over there.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Question. Yes?
But,
Do you enjoy
of course,
this?
it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive. Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This
Generally,
one
I don't
gets
want
a
it.
bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. Thanks for answering my question. You came here to become perfect. I was okay. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Who do you know who is so well developed as a person they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy. Being perfect is effortless.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Oh, I can. Cool. Is there a reason why the Eye of Sauron is up there? What the f? This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? Well, let me tell you right now. If it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. So this is basically meant to show the teachers being, like, self-conscious as well, I'm guessing? Seek out the only thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? I'm developing cyst. Gross. I will say that one. Do what is simplest. Feel what is true.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have.
Is it?
Assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days. This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Holy shit. What? Alright, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start leaning against this wall. Good, stay right there, okay? The woman across the room in this chair is the professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is one of your chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Oh, hello. Just up close to her face. Hello. Hello, that's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her, be a human being. Do it again? Okay, here are all of my hopes and dreams. And I'll listen down. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some prompts to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her. Okay, you must have worked really hard to get where you are. You're messing it all up. How? What the f? You'll figure out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Bro, what? Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get... I want to try something. Just try stepping back from the stage. Did I seriously f that up? I don't think I did f that up, bro. There's a very long hallway. Okay, yes, this is work now. This is working.
With this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success. The answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Jeez, this game is insane. Mobius Trip. To play this game properly, you need to keep your eyes closed. What am I meant to do? Oh! Help, I'm blind? What? Help, I'm blind? I can't see. Wait, is that giant door that's about to kill? What? What the f? Okay,
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
There is? Here, so we speak something that's honest. I am bursting with creative energy. No, that isn't truthful. Was it not? I can't keep making these. That's the truth. I don't feel it
Like I said,
anymore.
I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Yeah, that was just, it's definitely more of like a scream for help. Where am I? Where did this island come from? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? There is a machine that kept me going and it stopped. Wait, you were looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. You have to take me to it. Yeah, take me to it. Yeah. I can do that, but there's a problem.
If the last game
It's guarded by a
featured Coda
difficult
talking
puzzle.
explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Come along, I'll show it to you. Okay, I'm guessing it's in here.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
What's the switch right here? Close the first door. Now press the switch here. That was so simple.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
What are you talking? This is dude. Holy shit, okay. Dude, I honestly have nothing to say about this. This is just
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
my audio system just crashed then.
And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Fuck. Bro, this is...
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Fucking hell. You just can't say any... oh, no, I'm glad to see you arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. We can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I tend to be quick, quiet, brutal. Say brutal, fuck it. Very good. I'll call the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. There's one more thing to know about. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely the press.
And of course, it's the machine.
Stopped feeding us. There's people out there, can you imagine what pain you've put them through? Fuck. So here's what needs to happen. You need to go out and apologize. You allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. Alright then, I will apologize to people on your behalf. Don't worry guys, I told them. My followers! I'm talking to you guys, chat. I'm talking to you. Look at that. I have a troubling revelation. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. This is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. Let us pay it retribution. Follow me. We will destroy everything that the machine has created. Oh, we're back in the... Are you gonna blame me again? What?
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games.
What?
It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
This is that room. It's that room.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Put down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like Like, I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, boy.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
Okay. This is gonna be something, man.
This room actually has a maze in it.
Oh! Ah!
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all.
Epilepsy.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
What's this?
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Okay, sure. Coda seems to be like, I don't know, this is giving me an awful feeling about this whole thing, dude. I feel like this Coda's done something that's just off.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
Okay.
I can open this
well,
door,
fucking.
so let me do that.
I feel like something's going on with this narrator. I feel like this narrator's. There's
Was I a
something.
failure for not understanding this game? I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them...
I mean, yeah, I don't think he's your friend. I don't think that friend anymore is like there, dude.
I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
Yeah, I saw those. Yeah, I saw that. I saw heaps of those 3 dots. There was heaps of them. Oh shit. There's a red light there. Don't know what that means. If that meant anything.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
Oh my god! Oh my god, this is getting fucking real now. Okay. Holy shit. Dude, I mean, it was getting real from the start, but this is just...
Where did I screw up?
I don't think you did? Question mark? Dude, I don't know. Even I'm fucking second guessing this shit now. Like... Oh.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Holy shit. That's... Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. All this time. Is this cause Davey suggested Coda to like do a different, cause that whole thing was like the previous shit that Coda would make, right? And so like all the old stuff before Coda sent Davey, or the playable games folder, that was pretty much in all of that in there. Is it cause he showed the games?
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
Because he showed the games, released them for validation, coded in one. You infected my
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So you've infected my personal space. That it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere hidden between games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give? Violating the one boundary that keeps me safe? Please stop changing my games. Stop adding lampposts to them. What? That wasn't Coda? None of that was fucking Coda? What the fuck is going on?
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing.
Oh,
what does that mean?
Dude, holy shit! So wait, what, like... When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something, I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just part of the process. The fact you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize this doesn't make any sense to you just yet. Which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
When you finally see what I'm talking about. Don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in.
The walls are closing in.
Is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
What?
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution.
I'm sorry, child. I know I'm not speaking, but I'm like actually speechless.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
This fucking game, man. This game. Jesus Christ. Like, I feel like I haven't said anything this entire time. Like, it legitimately is... This is fucking mental.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Here's me thinking this game was gonna be a fun time like Stanley Parable. Oh my god. The set pieces as well, like...
What now?
I don't know, Davey.
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
I'm guessing Davey's gone, yeah. I'm guessing Davey went. Jeez. I mean, it's just so intense, you know? It's these set pieces as well, like, it's just, this is something else, dude. I'm back here. Like, it generally is like it's an extremely deep game. Extremely deep. Is that the laser? Oh my god, it's linked back to the fucking beam. Oh my god. Is it gonna make me float? Yep. It's gonna make me float. What the fuck? Wait. Was that all the white that was down from... There's no
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going.
You know, you can't see a lot of this, but turn back. Written by Helena Heron, performed by Helena Heron and Ryan Ruff. Shit, I didn't want to fucking... Yeah, I just probably not a lot I can do with the credits. Bro, I'm pleasantly surprised with this. That was insane. Like I said at the start of this, I legitimately thought this was gonna be like Stanley Parable. Legitimately thought that, oh, this is gonna be funny. I thought this was gonna be funny. Oh my god, I was so wrong. Dude, the shits it goes into with the different feelings, the feelings of validation, the feelings of needing validation, the feelings of loneliness, the feelings of trying to appease an audience to get some sort of validation, almost kind of stabbing people in the back as well at the same time while trying to reach those fucking goals. That is a really fucking good game. Honestly, probably one of the best narrative games I've played so far. I'm not even gonna lie and like sugarcoat that. That is actually probably one of the best narrative games I've played so far.